big old clap for all you at home.
You know you're cutting this out, so I don't know why you're bothering.
It's a big old clap for you at home.
Okay, hold on. There we go.
What, you think these things get edited? Nah, son.
They do a little bit though.
Raw.
You guys good?
Garden raw, yeah.
Yeah?
I think so. Raw garden.
That sounds fun.
Raw geek.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Stay Indoors. We had a couple weeks off there.
Was it a couple weeks?
I think it was 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Man, those 2 weeks flew by
Yeah, I know.
so fast.
That's why we're a couple weeks late, is life got busy.
Busy did life be. And become.
Exactly.
We were one with life for a moment.
This is the show where we shout our opinions at you for a long time.
Opinion!
So,
I think that song Up In Here is one of the greatest songs ever made. Up in here.
the biggest thing that we missed over the course of our being away from the camera was Gamescom.
Hiatus.
Gamescom.
Yes, Gamescom.
Oh, of course, Gamescom.
That was
kind of-
last week?
Yeah, I've kind of pulled some like highlights of things that would interest us. There's other stuff that happened at Gamescom that we wouldn't really have anything to contribute to, I don't think. I just kind of pulled some of the things so we can do week-old hot takes about various things that happened. Some cold hot takes. Sea of Thieves is going to be cross-platform play for the PC and the Xbox One.
PFC.
I thought that was already a thing.
They said that like it's not just play anywhere. They officially said that you can like PC players can play with Xbox
I see.
players.
Okay.
Yeah,
It was just
the servers are cross-platform.
play anywhere for a while.
Yeah.
Nice. I heard a lot from people about Sea of Thieves.
The Xbox One X. Sorry, what was that, Sean?
No, okay, let's continue.
No, you had a point.
Yeah, just that Sea of Thieves is going to be a little bit not like people expect.
Like good or bad?
Good, but not like your pirate RPG that you're really looking for. More like a goof-off joke cabinet.
That's kind of the impression that I got.
Yeah.
I got like a Monkey
Was
Island
it it's gonna be
style
Yeah,
vibe
it's
to it.
little goofy, a little bit.
Yeah, it's like the game you want to play with your friends whom are funny.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, which
I'll be buying it day one, obviously.
for
you're
all the
just-
friends you have who have
because
Xboxes.
of how funny you are.
Getting
right?
all them good seafaring jokes out.
I think it looks like fun. I just don't know if it's the kind of thing that I would like spend that much time or money on.
I understand.
Like,
Yeah, you just don't like jokes.
Yeah, I basically have no sense of humor. So,
I'm right in the middle. Sweet spot.
see, that was a joke because you're literally physically in the middle of us right now, and we're presenting two diametrically opposed opinions.
Mm-hmm.
But you're also taking a middle stance on the opinions that we're presenting.
Works on multiple levels.
Yeah,
Dissecting comedy. It's the best way to make a joke.
that's what I've been told.
Sea level, any level.
I was studying books about comedy because I have no sense of humor,
Mm.
so I was trying to improve.
Smart.
Well, I get you.
It's not gonna help.
So I've learned how to dissect and find the humor in things.
Exactly. Finding the humor. It's a logic exercise.
Mm-hmm.
100%.
Xbox One X Scorpio Edition.
Wait, what?
So have you not heard about this? See, this is great. This is why
Whoa.
I love that you guys haven't
What?
been following stuff because I just get like the cold hot takes.
Xbox One X Scorpio Edition.
Yeah. So basically, what it is.
We're keeping under wraps Project Scorpio here in the house. We're keeping it so secret. And now it's going to be the Xbox One X. That was Project Scorpio all along. Project Scorpio was the Xbox One X. But catch this out. Xbox One X Project Scorpio. It's the new hot project that we're working on.
You guys should actually watch the reveal video because it's like hilarious. Some guy from Microsoft has to like put on like white gloves before he like takes it out of the box, and it's like this whole fucking thing. Anyway,
Like meant to be funny, or it was just like embarrassingly funny.
I think it was embarrassingly funny. I only watched part of it.
Okay.
But I think they've already sold out at this point because we're behind the times. But the Xbox One X, the first line that's being released for the early adopters, they're called the Scorpio Edition, and so they have like Scorpio printed in like the font that was originally released, like on the front of the console and down the middle of the controller. It's kind of cool, like, but like if you think about it, if it ends up being a good console, like years later, wouldn't it be cool to have like a Nintendo Dolphin edition of the GameCube?
Yeah.
Right, because it was codenamed
Yeah.
Dolphin. Like it's that kind of a like.
But the GameCube's perfect.
No, the GameCube's great, and the Xbox One
The
X.
GameCube's a good
like,
console.
But they're trying to create that legacy, and like I thought it was cool for people who do, like who are Xbox fans and who buy in. Like it's already sold out. However many there were, it's already sold out.
It gives a very like elite gamer vibe in the sense that like because Scorpio was the name that was leaked, kind of.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's like, oh, I have the one that they then labeled Scorpio.
Yeah, and I think Microsoft.
Xbox One X.
Well, they have like
So
they have their elite controllers too that you can get. They have like the extra buttons on the back,
Xbox
right?
One X Scorpio Elite. Halo Edition.
2.0.
So that's a thing.
360.
Hey guys, it's the 540. It's obviously the 540.
Holy
I
shit.
got that joke because it was the Xbox 360. It was the Xbox before the Xbox One. So people were making jokes about it being the 180 because it's a different measurement of a degree of a turn.
He's learning.
You're getting there. I'll
Cool.
give you that.
Cool. Biomutant was announced over the course of Gamescom.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Kung Fu,
Panda.
Rocket Raccoon,
Kung Fu
Red Panda
rodents.
creature with guns and comic book effects, and you can fly and ride a giant mechanical hand.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it looks ridiculous.
I'm into it. The people who made it, it's being published by THQ Nordic, and it's just cool that they're making new games. But it's being developed by Experiment 101, which is composed of like people who worked on Just Cause 3 and Mad Max.
Okay.
So they at least have some
Games?
familiarity with big budget games and open worlds, which Biomutant is, with an
cool.
emphasis on melee combat. So you know that I'm into that shit.
Very interesting. Yeah, it's like
Well-
Rocket Raccoon meets Ninja Gaiden.
Yeah.
I'm into that
Meets,
shit. Okay,
punching.
this next one. If you guys don't have anything else to say about Biomutant,
It looks like a game where you can be an orange fox, and I like that. Mush mush.
I get that. It's a fox spirit.
Yeah.
I'm not a fox spirit. It's good. Yeah. This one is kind of I think the first thing that we'll be able to kind of dig into, because we've spent a lot of time talking about microtransaction and DLCs and stuff like that. You guys remember that during E3 we talked about the Creation Club, which was Bethesda's new paid mods thing where they could like work with modders to release mods for their systems
Yeah.
for like Skyrim and
yes.
Fallout 4 and stuff.
Yeah.
Creation Club has now gone live,
Whoa.
and
Skynet style.
people hate it.
Oh no.
Really?
Yes, for a couple of reasons. One of which, they made a bunch of promises, like other things that were already available as mods won't be available on Creation Club. It's not going to interfere with the game. They're like sort of like mini DLCs, blah blah blah. They cost a fair amount of money so far. There's only like 12 things on there that came out at launch. It's basically all like weapon skins and armor skins and like stuff like that. Nothing like too crazy.
And they all
Stuff
cost money.
They all cost money.
That
This is
mods-
stuff that you could always get for free from modders. Their idea with the Creation Club that they tried to sell us on was, yeah, this way we're working with the modders and we're making this stuff compatible with the game, and it's not going to work with it's not going to like ruin your save files, and like if we have something on the Creation Club, it's going to be compatible and it's going to work, and it's going to be smooth, and you're never going to have to like uninstall it and fix it and go into the files and stuff. It's just going to be smoother. That's what they tried to sell it as. Most modders have fucking figured that shit out. Like the good ones know what they're doing anyway.
Right.
But because they've been doing it fucking forever.
But
But the way it works, because this is always the way it works, you can't just buy them. You have to buy credits, which you then use on your paid mods, because that's what they are. And you can only buy credits in packs and set denominations, which are never perfectly equal to the things that you're going to buy. So you're always going to end up with credits left over and spending more money than you actually want to spend.
Thanks, Ubisoft.
And like that's why it's done, is so that you have to end up, because you're like, well, I have like 50 credits left over, but if I get enough, so I have like 150, I can buy that thing, but then I'm gonna have 400, and like I can't, and so that you always are constantly stuck in that loop of having to spend more money, and so you don't realize how much money you're spending on the individual items because you've already spent it as the credits. And it's just, oh, it's just credits. I got credits, whatever.
I need more credits. Put more money on the
So
box.
that's a thing. Also,
That's sad.
there's some rumors that the modders aren't even getting paid, because that was one of the other things.
Really?
Was the whole point was that the modders are basically being contracted by Bethesda in this sense.
Oh,
Where they're going
God.
to get part of the money, and like they're working with Bethesda almost as like a contract developer.
Yeah, we'll give you like, I don't know, $10 in this rabbit foot.
That's interesting. Do you think that, I mean, obviously, we could look into it more, but do you think that, like, the modders would have reason to, like, say shit like that about Bethesda just because they don't like the system? Like, oh, we're not getting paid, and there's, like, other shitty things happening.
Well, there were apparently actually modders in the community who were interested in the system when it was announced before the details were out.
Yeah.
The basic idea they liked.
Yeah.
So I
that's what
don't think...
Well, no, I'm saying, like, they're in the system, and now they realize it don't work, so now they're saying they're not getting paid.
Yeah, but I don't think... Because their benefit would be that they would be getting paid, right? Like, that's why they would like it, so I don't think they would lie about it.
Right.
Like, I don't think they would have a reason, like, other than that.
Well, I feel like modders, in a sense, are kind of like, not all of them, but are kind of like freedom fighters when it comes to video games. Like that,
yeah,
like,
but I mean, as of
thing.
yet, the mods, like, other mod places haven't been taken down.
That's true. So, like, they
Right.
choose to be there as opposed to, yeah, I see what you mean.
I think Sean wants you to explain what you mean by freedom fighters.
Freedom fighters?
Like modders all
anarchists?
about, yeah.
Most of them, I think, are just jokes. They're just
most
jokers.
of them. I feel like some of them, like, I don't know.
There's, like, most of the Skyrim mods out there are like, we like boobs.
Well, yeah, but those are
Or-
the same people who are doing this for like making money and getting contracted by Bethesda.
I don't think they would make boobs for money. I think that would be, like, their fucking dream job.
Well, no, I think they would, but I'm saying, like, they're probably not the ones that got contracted with Bethesda. The ones that are making nude mods for Skyrim. Like, they're probably...
No,
people
I know.
who
They're
are
not the ones
Bethesda.
that are contracted.
Yeah,
I
no.
just don't think the guy out there making weapon skins is like, yeah, fuck Bethesda. He's like, yeah, Bethesda didn't do perfect, so I'm gonna...
Because I think the people who spend more of their time on the games are people who like the games and just want them to be better and want everybody to be able to enjoy them more. So I would agree with that.
I see modders more of like a labor of love kind of thing. 'Cause that's why they do it.
Yeah, okay.
I don't necessarily see it as like an anarchy.
No, but I mean, like, they're kind of, like, they're obviously, like, pro-modding, clearly, right? Like, they're totally
Into, like, the
that.
freedom of being able to do
That's what I
whatever,
mean,
whenever.
right? So,
Yeah.
like, when the system, like, isn't working well and, like, and clients are getting ripped off, per se, with this whole credit system, you may have a modder that goes, like, I don't really agree with what you're doing with the system and, like, with the mods I created, so they might, like, turn around and be like, fuck you.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go back to the free market.
Yeah, I mean...
That's what I mean.
Oh, yeah.
Freedom fighters in the sense of modding.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. I'm with you.
Are you?
I'm caught up.
Okay. You sure?
Yes, I'm
Okay.
on board.
He's on the boat.
On the boat.
You're on the boat?
On the freedom boat.
On the boat?
I'm on the boat for the freedom train.
All the thieves. A big old sea.
But some of the skins that have shown up on the Creation Club have been things that we've already seen as free mods, and Bethesda specifically said that wasn't going to happen. That wasn't a
Yeah.
thing that they could do, and that is so now you're just paying for things that somebody had already made for free.
But there was, like,
better.
Yeah, I mean, I really like the idea of, like, oh, we'll check these mods and make sure that they work out with the game. Like, I really like that they kind of go through, like, this process of making sure they work. But I just, that whole credit system is dumb. I don't like it.
Yeah,
They could have just slapped, like, a 25-cent, like, tag on, like, a skin and, like, be done with it, but no.
Yeah.
Because they want to overcharge you, and if the price isn't
Yeah.
on the skin, it's harder to get away with that,
Yeah.
right? Because if you've been
gotta
like,
buy-
oh, I really want that one thing, I'll just buy these, because the denominations are never the exact amount you need.
Mm-hmm.
You'll buy more than you need and be like, oh, I spent more money on that, but I got more credits, so I didn't just pay $15 or whatever for the skin, right? I have more credits. So then you don't realize how much that skin really cost you.
Yeah,
You
if
have the
it's like-
skin, and then from then on you're locked in because you have some credits left over. And you're like, oh, I'll buy more than I
Yeah.
need to get this one thing, and then have some left over. I'll buy more than I need, and then once then you're hooked. Then you're in, and you don't realize it.
Yeah. Then you spend $700 on your mobile game, and your debt collectors are coming by, and you're like, I'm sorry, my Farmville's doing real well, but I don't have any money for you. And they're like, we're gonna need your legs.
Sean, I thought your therapist said you couldn't talk about that anymore.
My therapist was fine about it. My parole officer said I should.
Because of the okay.
Yeah.
I totally get that, though, where you can, like, spend $25 and you're like, I got all these credits, look at all the things I can get now. And then, like, then you don't keep track of how many of the things you did get, and the next thing you know, you're out of credits or have a little bit of amount left, and then you're like, I
So
gotta
you
buy more.
and ugh.
I've only got 6
6
credits left.
And the other thing that has people real riled up
Oh.
is if you want to just ignore the Creation Club. You're like, I'm just going to do mods, regular old mods, because
Yeah.
that's fine. And they're still up. They haven't tried to take those down yet. Everything that's on the Creation Club is installed with the newest update. And then when you buy it, you're just buying permission to use it. So your hard drive just fills up with shit. Like, all the skins and all the things are, like, on your hard drive when you update the game.
Why would... What?
Yeah.
That's really
So people's hard drives are just,
stupid.
like, getting fucking filled when they update their games now. Because it's just going to get worse if they don't fix that. Because there's just going to be more things on the Creation Club.
Is this service on console, too?
I don't know.
Or is this just PC?
That is information that I do not have.
It's probably on the console.
That's super shitty. Why would they treat it like DLC like that?
Well, they were trying to sell it as, like, mini DLCs, and you get value for money, and blah, 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 blah.
It's not. It's not.
We're gonna do lots of mods. That's like expanding your game profile. That's gonna be in canon. Why don't you just make DLC?
Even then, like, that style of, like, downloading the content before, like, but not having permission to it, that only, like, makes sense for online games.
Yeah, where you're gonna be using those assets because you're gonna be playing against them.
People, yeah, exactly. Like, other people will be using those assets. But when you play a single-player game like Skyrim or Fallout already, like, it just doesn't make any sense. Like, you shouldn't have to download it until you decide to purchase it. Find anything?
It is gonna be on consoles, but I don't know if it works the same way.
Yeah, I was gonna say they probably want to, like, see how it works on PC first.
Like, I know that Creation Club, I did find that it's gonna be on console.
Why wouldn't it be? Like,
This person says
It's not. He's not.
This person says that it goes on to their Xbox and PlayStation as well.
Interesting.
So I think it might be just if
But that's, like, really annoying, because, like, even in the circumstance that, like, this service became super popular, like, you would have, like,
It's still
reasonably,
shitty.
you would have a bunch of mods like you do in the
people aren't
actual
gonna
mod
use.
market right now. Like, could you imagine all that extra data on your goddamn console?
Yeah, I can. That would be shitty.
Yeah, like, for especially like us playing on, like, the Xbox One or the PS4, where they don't, they already don't have a lot of
Hard drive space.
space. Like, those games become borderline unplayable because you'd have to clear out so many things to play the most up-to-date version.
Yeah, and I'm like, I'm in the middle of like 3 games. I don't have time to play Skyrim. Skyrim 1.
I also
Yeah.
just, like, love how much they're milking the Skyrim and Fallout. Like, I know Fallout 4 is pretty recent, but, like...
Not even that. It's like a year and a half old now. It's
Yeah.
like, come on, give up.
But,
big.
I mean, compared to Skyrim, though, like,
Skyrim's like 12 years old now. It's like,
We're getting. They
Just
officially
milking it.
announced, like, release dates, I think, for Skyrim VR, and they said there is a Fallout 4 VR coming.
Yeah. I knew the Fallout VR was...
So Skyrim's re-releasing
It's like,
for, like, the 7th time.
hey.
Now we're getting Skyrim on the Switch.
Skyrim, you can play the whole game Skyrim in VR now. It's getting.
Except-
Didn't he say something recently like it's definitely playable in VR? Like every part of the game is playable now in VR. Like that was his like quote, and it's like that's what you're selling. So of course it should be.
Yeah.
Are you fucking kidding? Like, can you imagine if there's a non-VR section? Sorry, we can't load VR this part. It just doesn't.
Just turn around and go back. It just doesn't load. It's
just
fine.
doesn't load.
If you do anything out of the main quest line, it's not VR.
Yeah, right.
Well, that's it's actually really funny because I saw somebody played VR Skyrim, and it does the Doom thing where you actually like teleport to spots, like you can't walk.
What?
Like you teleport ahead of you, like you blink to a location and then you're there and you like fight or whatever, and then you blink to the next location. You don't just like walk smoothly.
Isn't that the whole part?
That's how it's happening in like a lot of VR games right now. They're trying to figure out how to like balance movement with looking around and stuff in VR games.
I
and
guess, I
doing
guess
this
like
teleporting
the
thing.
orientation of like being able to look with VR plus moving with a joystick is kind of a hard thing to program.
Well, it's a hard thing to process.
I think that's what it is.
It's
like
also
for
that
for
too, yeah.
people to figure out. But
Yeah, because when I told you guys when I tried Oculus Rift at my buddy's place, and I was doing that spaceship one, and that one was like fully motion. Like you were moving with the controller, but you could look around wherever you went. Like, oh, I got sick so quick, and I didn't think I would. But like 10 minutes into it, I was like, I have to stop.
Yeah.
Vomit.
Those
So
are
in that case, I understand.
An expensive way to play with vomit. VR. You want to puke? We got you covered.
Almost said that like it was like a thing that people are after, or
Is there an inexpensive way to play with vomit?
and like playing with vomit isn't a thing. Like,
Sure.
what are you even saying?
Well, what I said was it's an expensive way to play with vomit.
Yeah.
Yeah, we know what you said.
That's what
Vomit
I said.
regurgitation, VR.
Yeah, it's an expensive way to do that. There's cheaper ways, which are to just.
It's
not
just
do
your
it.
phrasing of play with vomit that's like weird.
Yeah, you can play with vomit.
Can we move on?
Okay, what's the next
It's
topic?
like a roller coaster. You know, you play with
We
vomit.
get it.
So-
Bethesda's fucking it up.
Sean, do you know the name Mark Laidlaw?
I know it.
Do you?
Just kidding. I was
Yeah.
just offended they didn't ask me.
No, because I knew you wouldn't.
I don't know who.
There's a
Mark
chance
is.
that Sean might.
No.
Mark Laidlaw was the lead writer on the Half-Life games.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I did hear. I think I know where you're going with this.
Mark
Oh,
Laidlaw
yeah.
Released.
recently left Valve,
Yeah, and
and he published on his blog
Yep. The
essentially the plot to
the-
Half-Life
the
3.
entire script of Half-Life 3.
Yeah. He changed names, and it's written as like a letter from one person to another person.
Yeah.
Like, it's not written as like a script or story format. It's like worded as a letter
Yeah.
of these characters, and the names are changed, so it's not Gordon Freeman. It's like Georgia Freemason
Yeah.
or something. Like, I don't
And
remember
then
what it
there's
is, but it's
Alex-
something like that.
Or Alexandria.
yeah.
That's not.
But it's the plot of Half-Life 3, and I want to know how you feel.
How I feel about it getting leaked? Because I haven't
just
read it.
How do you feel about it
I think.
as you feel right now?
Okay, I'm mad.
All right. Well, there we go. There's that hot take.
Mad.
Because, like, he basically, what I think his point was, like, they're just never going to make it. And I'm like, that's not fucking true. They're going to make it in 5 years, and I wanted it. I wanted it, Mark.
Why are they gonna make it in 5 years?
Why? Like, just in, like, a billion years, they'll make it eventually. You know what I mean? Like,
But why?
just because eventually they'll get broke, and they'll be like, can't milk Counter-Strike forever. Let's make Half-Life 3 people like that game. And it's going to be shitty, but I'll still play it.
Do you think they'll go broke enough to have to do that though, and it won't be a choice they make?
They won't have to.
Because they also own Steam
I know they own Steam.
and
Fuckers so
Dota.
rich. Yeah, they own Dota 2 and fucking Team Fortress and pretty much fucking every other thing. Bastards. I'm mad at them.
It's not that I don't want you to be happy. I literally think that if Valve ever does make Half-Life 3 or
Which they could. They could have made it already.
Left 4 Dead 3 or Portal 3, if they ever learn to count to 3, it'll be Dota 3. It'll be because they decided that they wanted to,
Team Fortress 3.
and Team Fortress 3,
Jesus.
and no other reason.
Yeah.
Like, it won't be because they have to or because of.
I know.
Luna is real.
And
Xbox 3. It wasn't even like, okay, this is the biggest issue I have with it. Half-Life 1, boom. Half-Life 2, boom. Half-Life 2 Episode 1, okay. Half-Life 2 Episode 2, okay. Just do it.
no,
They were so...
they can't count to 3, man. It doesn't
they were
matter how
so
they break
close.
it down.
I don't understand why they never did. It was right there. They were like on track to use all the same assets. They didn't have to fucking do anything else. They just give me 6 more hours of story.
Okay, but that's an interesting question because
Why did it never get made?
the way that Valve works, I will admit that I haven't played Half-Life, but I really think that Valve, at least when they were still making games, a lot of people that say that Valve has kind of changed and they're not the studio they were for various reasons. But there's a lot of sort of... My feeling has always been that Valve makes games for mechanics first. And if they didn't have something new to do with Half-Life, I don't know if they would.
Well, they didn't have something new to do with Half-Life's Episode 1 or 2.
Mechanically, they were like just the same.
Mechanically, they were the same game as Half-Life 2.
Did they do any
Thought they
new
were
puzzles?
episodes.
Did they
Well,
use
they
the
did,
gun
like-
in new ways?
They did like new set pieces that used new like technology. Because I played all those games. Not only did I play all those games, I played all those games with their commentary on.
Yeah,
which
yeah.
is why you should play them, because it's fucking dope.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, they increased the things. They're still playing around with their source engine and like all that stuff. But like, it wasn't anything new. Like their lighting, they think they made like a new lighting system, but like it was all the same technology. You know what I mean? Like they just updated a lot of it. But in terms of mechanics, like I think you got like a new gun, but it didn't like do anything but shoot different. And you got a car, and it was a little bit open world.
Nothing groundbreaking.
Okay.
Yeah, it was nothing that we
fair
haven't
enough.
seen before.
Fair
you know
enough.
what I mean? And that's the same. That's true from Half-Life 1 to Half-Life 2. Like, yeah, their physics was a little bit more real, but like in their physics engine, 6 cinder blocks weighed equal to a man. But I won't get into that.
But just like what you would expect from a usual sequel, just like more fleshed out stuff.
More
and
fleshed
same
out
stuff.
Yeah.
Okay.
You're right.
Okay, fair enough.
Because all I wanted was just a sequel.
Fair enough.
Because when they made Portal, that was like, hey, we have a whole new fucking idea.
Well, that's... You just touched on something that I also find very interesting. Because they announced at E3, Gamescom? Where they announced it? They announced Artifact, the like Dota card game, right?
Oh, yeah, okay.
Which just, I think a lot of people think
That
feels
was
shitty because...
Before Gamescom, but after E3. I think.
Okay, it's just randomly. Might have been at some kind of event. I don't know.
I can't remember.
I don't know. Because there was a press conference when it was announced. It was like on a stage, they like showed it off live. But I don't remember why or when. It's not important.
Anyways,
What's important is
Artifact.
that a lot of people feel like Valve used to, whether or not my understanding was correct, that it was like all about the mechanics. They were at least trying to do their own thing and make interesting games.
Well, yeah, they
whereas
made interesting
whereas
games.
Artifact just feels like, hey, card games are popular right now. We can make even more money for very little effort. Just like having Steam running, that just makes us money off there.
Yep.
Yay. And so a lot of people feel shitty about that. But another thing that I've heard come up that I think is interesting is this feeling that people seem to have like Valve owes them something.
Yeah.
Like Valve owes them Half-Life 3.
yeah.
Or like, we don't want this because this isn't what we asked for. We asked for Half-Life, as if like, or we asked for Portal 3 or whatever, as if that somehow means that they're entitled to have Valve make that game.
Yeah.
Like I get it. But they
you-
could have though.
No,
Like-
and I get that. It's just like, and the thing to me that I think is strange is if Valve wants to make money, like make Half-Life 3,
Yeah, like
because it
I
would
just-
make so much money.
that's the thing I don't get.
But that's a valid criticism. But I feel weird when people are like, we didn't ask for this. Like, we asked for Half-Life, as if that's like a valid reason why you should just get Half-Life.
Yeah. No, that's dumb.
We deserved Half-Life because we bought the other two.
Right? Like, no.
No, you deserve Half-Life 1 and 2 because
You bought Half-Life 1 and 2.
Yeah,
So-
we never promised to make 3. We just led you on in a very serious way.
There's clearly just
They
like so
fucking
much.
cliffhangered you so bad though on
Yeah.
episode 2. Like the cliffhanger was so fucking real.
Well, they were clearly planning on making one. Like, Mark Laidlaw had a script
Fucking
written. Like,
plot,
they had
yeah.
a plot for that game. Like, that game was going to be real at some point.
I
Yeah,
guess
I
it's
just want to know what happened.
yeah. There's clearly like some political shit that went on at Valve.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah, like something.
some
like you said,
disagreement. I'm sure Mark was involved. He left.
something happened.
Well, he left because they haven't been making a game,
Well, that's
I
what
mean, like,
well,
I
that's
don't
what
even-
mean.
I don't know
like,
what
somewhere
they're
down
writing.
the line. Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
If he's been like,
Because
Work-
he's been there for so long without leaving, but they haven't really come out
Yeah.
with much. Like, what's he been
Yeah.
working
No,
on,
it's
right?
strange. It's definitely strange.
Maybe he was still maybe that's all it was. Maybe he was still fighting and hoping they could get Half-Life off the ground and get it out. And then eventually maybe there was a conversation where like Gabe was like, "We're not doing Half-Life," and he was like, and they were like, "If you guys want to go and do something else, go." Because like I think basically all the writers and stuff from the Half-Life series are gone now.
oh, how?
Wow.
And even if they're not all gone, Mark was like the lead writer and he's gone. So
Damn.
Sad face, my friend.
it definitely
Just never play
feels
Half-Life.
it definitely feels like a much more official closure
Yeah,
on it. Like,
it's like, hey,
I think it would be nice if Valve came out and said, like,
We're not.
we're just not doing it,
Yeah.
instead of just, like, leaving it as a possibility.
well, like that's the thing. Is like, why
But
would you do that?
They have to, because then if they do decide to, right? But I think this is the closest we're going to get to, like, official confirmation that in the next 10 years there isn't going to be a Half-Life 3. Yeah, who knows? Maybe somehow somebody else gets the rights for Half-Life and makes Half-Life 3. But then it's like weird.
Yeah, I don't think it's gonna happen.
That's always weird. That's a weird thing. That's a whole other issue. Is like when somebody else gets the rights to make a game to finish off a story hook, but they didn't plan the story hook.
Yeah.
How authentic is it? How satisfying is it as an ending?
It's like, is it gonna be different? I don't know.
I mean, now Mark released that, so somebody else could just make Half-Life 3 and use that story, and we know that it's the one that the writer wanted.
Someone in Gary's mod, go for it.
Maybe that's why he did it.
Yeah.
Maybe that's part of why he did it, was like, there's modders out there who are just going to make Half-Life 3.
People have our engine, like, it's fucking go to town.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, man. If only. If
Half-Life fans are as crazy as I think they are, it's
They
gonna
are.
happen. It's gonna happen.
They've been waiting too
Gary's
long.
mod.
Have you guys
version of
seen
Half-Life
from
3.
Exit from City 17?
No.
It's like a short film that's like set in the Half-Life universe about a bunch of refugees trying to leave City 17 during the Combine Uprising. It's fucking really well shot. I think it's really good.
Sweet.
They've got like, they made all their own props and they look legitimate. And like all the fucking CGI and it's just good. Because they use the CGI like skyboxes from the game. So when you're like, hey, that's a thing in the game. So it like looks exactly from the game, but I don't care. It like looks perfect.
That's really funny.
It's dope.
That's cool. It's very cool.
This next piece of news is something that's kind of sad.
Uh-oh. The last one was also sad.
But it also ties back to a lot of the stuff we talk about again about microtransactions and publishers being shitty. So, for a bit of context, I don't have the exact years, and I apologize for that, but a few years ago, a man named, I want to get his name right, Mike Forgy, he was
that name rings a bell.
he was an executive producer on the Middle-earth Shadow of War, Shadow of Mordor games.
Mm-hmm.
A couple years ago, he was diagnosed with cancer,
Oh no.
and last year in 2016, he passed away. He was they just announced that like Monolith is releasing there's a character they're adding to the game named I didn't even write it down, but I actually remember it. It's Forthog the Orc Slayer. And apparently I found out more information. Him and a couple other guys from Monolith were in a band called Orc Slayer. And in the trailer they used to show off the character, they're using a song that he wrote. And Forthog actually has like he's got an axe, but it looks almost like a guitar too.
That's cool.
And he'll just show up occasionally, like randomly, to save you when you're like at a near-death experience. If you fail it, there's a like random percentage chance that he'll show up and one shot kill the orc and then just like leave you there.
Cool.
And he's just like this added random character that like adds this thing into the game.
That's very cool.
But WB is charging $5 for it. And $3.50 of the proceeds will go to charities and like supporting his family. But $1.50 is not. It's some people have speculated that it's being used to cover the cost of like when you post DLC, roughly 30% has to go to the publishers, the hosting service, so like Steam or PSN or Xbox Live or whatever, for using their storefront. So that would equal that amount. So that's a potential possibility. If we give them the benefit of the doubt, I doubt it. I think they're taking that money, because the fact that they're even charging for it isn't absurd. But here's the other part, is that at the end of that trailer, where they show off this character in really fine print, they say that this is the proceeds are only donated to charity in the States. So anywhere else, it's just going to the company. And even then, only in most states. There's like a handful of 5 or 6 states where that isn't the case. I think it's some like legal thing about charities and business.
Like
I don't know
where
what
the
it is.
charities operate and stuff.
Yeah, but there's 5 or 6 states where that doesn't happen. So for most of the world, they're charging $5 for a commemorative character, and essentially this company is profiting off of one of their executive producers passing away from cancer.
It's just like, I understand what they're trying to do, and like the legality is what's like this. The shitty thing is like the bureaucracy is kind of getting in the way of them trying to do this charity.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know.
Yeah, like I kind of see what you're seeing too, and I think like, I feel like if you just put in like a little more work, it could have been easy enough to collect all these, like I don't know how the legality of it is, but you could have collected all these funds into a single pot and then donated them to a place.
Yeah,
as
like
opposed to it being like infected by borders and all this kind of stuff.
That thing, where like, hey, if we meet our fund, we're gonna release this DLC for free for everyone who like
give that pot
gets
of money,
the game, like the early edition of game, and then we're just gonna release that for free, and then, you know, we're gonna donate all that money to charity.
Well, I think, yeah, the fact that you can, like, you can get this character without donating any money to anything really bothers me. I think that the character should be free, and they should find some other way of, like, if other DLC later, if they're like, hey, in these states, we're going to funnel off, like, 1% of sales from this DLC that's not related to that.
Yeah.
But as charity, or, like, we're a fucking multi-billion-dollar corporation, and as, like, just a show of being cool, we're going to donate a certain amount of money to cancer charities because this thing happened, and we're making a big deal out of it. Yeah. But the fact remains that they're using the death of one of their employees to make more money. Like, that's objectively what's happening.
Yeah.
And I don't think it can't have been Monolith, like the developer. They can't have been like, oh, it sucks our boss died, but now we can make money off that. It was, hey guys, Mike has passed, but he loved these games, and we loved him. Let's do something, right? Like, let's make this special. Let's give him a send-off in this game. And then WB going like, hey, you can't just release stuff for free because we want money.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
Because, like, we always talk about how just, like, games journalism or, like, podcasters or YouTubers or whoever, we always kind of talk about how we give the developers the benefit of the doubt, right? And we're like, it can't have been the developers. They just want to make good games. Like, it's the publishers. They're the ones who are in it for the money.
Yeah.
And I think that this case, we can be very, very confident that that is true.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and I think that it just proves that does happen, that's like a real thing.
Yeah, like, I still also see, like, the idea that, you know, them trying to get this idea through. They're like, you want to give us this weird orc thing? Okay. And, like, them, in order to, like, getting it past the publishers, have to be like, we're gonna charge $5 for it, but we'd really like to do this proceed thing. And then, like, the legality of it is that it can't really be perfect in a society because of the states, right? Some of the states just can't accept it. It's an American company, so when it comes over here, we can't then spend money Canadian.
It's American charity, and, like, they have restrictions or, like, whatever, right? Yeah.
So it's all that. Like,
they're definitely,
I don't necessarily think it's a malicious thing. I think it's, like,
right? Yeah.
kind of, like, unfortunate in itself.
It might be malicious. Like, I feel like we just, like, we can't
like, that's
say,
the thing, is it's hard to speculate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Without, like, investigating as to, like, how the charity laws work and stuff like that.
I also
and, like,
think that, like, WB especially had to know how that was going to look.
Yeah.
Because they've gotten so much shit for their pre-orders and their DLC, and now, like, the fact that they only a couple weeks ago or whenever it was we're getting a couple months ago now, I guess, we're getting in shit because there's microtransactions and loot boxes in the game.
Yeah.
And then they're like, also here's this charity, not charity thing, and that, like, and they didn't explain it either. Like, it's in super fine print at the end that, like, also not all the money goes to charity. Like, they say, like, a certain percentage goes to charity on the thing, and then, like, but only in the States, and only some of the States, and it's not everywhere.
I wouldn't be
just give us your money.
I
So,
wouldn't
like,
be
there's going to be people who buy this thinking that
Yeah.
they're donating, and they're not.
I was gonna say, I wouldn't be surprised there's some really weird charity laws at work. Like, I don't know if there's, like, restrictions on, like, if this money gets fundraised in, like, this state, it's not allowed to go to a charity outside of the state. Like, it has to come to us, and, like, just shit like that. Like,
I'm
know
sure,
there's weird.
I'm sure there
charity
is
laws like that.
But I'm also sure that there was a way to
I
do
agree.
this better.
But that's what I mean, right? Like, I feel like, I mean, again, like, their WB, they probably have, like, a giant team of people that probably could have used it as a fucking asset.
Right,
But
they
I
have
feel
a
like
legal
it would've-
team.
Yeah, like, I feel like it definitely, like, coming from a smaller business point of view, like, that's just a fuckload of work to, like, find all those fucking little a way to do it as smoothly as possible while trying to not take money at all.
Yeah, but like from a smaller business perspective, you wouldn't have to.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like you'd only really be worrying about your state or province, potentially the one next door if it's a bigger
But
event.
like you're already making a bunch of money from the game itself, obviously, in any other DLC. So like, why
that
couldn't
this
that money
man
been,
helped
like,
to create in the first place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ugh. It's pretty shitty.
If you wouldn't mind, actually, Brendan, you're the one who's going to be like getting this video edited down and then publishing it.
Yes.
There are links to pages where people can donate money to
Oh,
his
hell
family
yeah. Mm-hmm.
directly. That's like not WB related. If you wouldn't mind throwing a link.
Yeah. No, definitely. Links
To
will
that
be
down below.
Down below. Donate away.
Yeah, and then that's not WB. That's not anything else. That's just if you
family.
want to help his family. That's something that we can definitely put access to.
Cool.
in the
No,
bottom of the
totally. Yeah.
thing.
No, I agree. I can
Cool.
maybe put a little thing over there.
Yeah, I don't know how to do that. So
Click the thing. Right now. Right there.
he's the YouTube wizard,
I really hope you fuck that up somehow and it's not there.
and it's like, and he's gonna be the one putting it on too. So if he puts it somewhere else,
No, it has to go up there. It's the eye thing.
does it like have to be in that
It's
spot?
a little eye thing that goes
Cool.
in the top
Oh,
right
okay,
corner.
okay.
Yeah. I won't. It's gonna be over there.
Okay, sweet. All I would say in closing is fuck cancer.
Yeah.
Shitty.
Yeah, but I felt like that was something that we should talk about.
Yeah, no, that's a good thing to talk about. It's a shitty. It's good to get it out there because like people need to know
Yeah, and-
that, especially because that's like something that I'd be like fucking having seen. I'd have been like, fuck yeah, I'll donate, and then
Right, like
you know.
this is the kind of thing that I've gone to the point where I'm not getting this game anywhere near launch anyway. Just
Yeah.
like
Just
there's
all the
been
other
too
shit,
many
yeah.
of these things happening. But had it had better PR during the course of its development, it didn't have the microtransactions and whatever, because I love the first game, and I love the world, and I don't just mean I love Lord of the Rings. I love the weird pseudo Lord of the Rings world that they've built for
Yeah.
the games. I would totally be buying it, and even knowing that the charity thing didn't work, I might consider having this, because obviously I never met this man, but I think having that character in there would be cool.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
No, I
having
agree.
that in the world and having that connection to the developers and knowing how much it meant to them
Yeah.
would be, I think, a really cool thing. But I won't be because I'm not getting the fucking game.
Yeah. I think it's good to bring awareness to it because like we should be skeptical of publishers
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Exactly.
because they do some pretty shitty
And it's-
things a lot of the
It's a
time.
house hippo situation.
Yeah. No,
And
totally.
it's so amazing to me too because, like, you think about the potential PR for this of executive producer on the game died. We made a character for him and we're donating money to like anti-cancer charities.
Yeah.
Like, that reeks of like magnificent PR, and they fucked it up. Like
Yeah.
all the headlines are "WB, are you fucking
Are you-
serious?"
You're shitty. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like they took a moment where they could have gotten such good feedback and they just like
Like, never mind just doing right by Mike and his family, just for their own self-interest.
Yeah.
They could have garnered so much good PR and so much goodwill with their customers.
Yeah. Like, hey, look at how egalitarian we are.
Yeah.
And they just
But you know what I would totally believe is that some exec at WB was probably like, yo, we're gonna get such good PR for this.
yeah.
Like, I 100% believe that. They're like, yeah, like, we're gonna, like, donate to charity. Not all of it, but we're gonna donate to charity. And
Yeah.
then they, like, yeah, people read your fucking fine print, idiot.
And the
Like,
thing that's the other
It
thing
only
too.
takes one person
Yeah.
to read your fine print and blow it up.
welcome
It's
to the internet.
everywhere. Because the other thing that's amazing to me is, like, if the game was being released just as normal, and they're like, $5 of every sale where we can is going to go to charity because of this,
Yeah.
that's one thing. But this character only exists because Mike passed away. And that's the part that is shitty.
Yeah.
Is because they're going to be seeing money that they wouldn't have if he was still
Well,
alive.
yeah,
right?
but also, like, that's a five extra dollars you're spending as opposed to just, like, $5 of the original game purchase.
Yeah, but I mean, even
Right.
like from their end, when you look at it as a consumer, the PR of, oh, they're losing out a little bit of their money for that versus they're donating to charity, but really I'm just donating to charity
For them.
and they're still making profit,
Yeah.
right?
It's dumb.
If they said we spent the man hours and we made this character and he's free,
Yeah.
And then
That's
we're going to
donating
donate just a set amount. Like we've decided we're going to donate 1% of all sales of just the game to a charity.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
That they would have no problem. Done.
That's a great PR.
That's just great.
Yeah.
Yep. I'd be like, holy shit, I'm gonna stand by Monolith and WB.
Yeah, I actually would. If they had done that, I would have bought the game despite the loot boxes. Because I would have been like, that's actually a show of
Way to turn
some
around.
class.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, the loot boxes are going to suck, but, like, damn, you did that thing good.
Yeah.
Instead, they did both things bad.
It's shitty.
It's not. It's like I don't understand why a business can't have a moral compass.
Because literally the only thing that matters is money. It's so messed up.
Yeah, it's so dumb. That's shitty.
It's so bass-ackwards.
It is bad.
Yep.
You know, it did happen that was good, though.
Lay it on me.
Absolver came out.
Absolver came out.
Oh, Absolver came out.
It was a lot of fun.
This is a good boy.
I had a lot of fun
Game.
with
It's
it.
a good game. I want more already.
I want more of the game
It's
to have already been.
it's so cool because, like, I want more of Absolver, but at the same time, I'm like, I still have so many moves to learn. And, like, I'm not done building my deck. I'm, like, almost level 50, and I'm not done building my deck.
Yeah.
I, like, see a flying spin kick, and I'm like, I need it. I gotta have it. I gotta have that move. And I actually, you know what? I want to talk to you guys about this sort of general topic, and
Hit it on me.
I was gonna use it as a, like, keep it in the chamber for when we don't have anything to talk about.
It's going to be a long video.
But I don't think it will, because Absolver's the last thing that I wanted to talk about
Okay.
for the day. So
It's gonna
these
be
two
a
things are
long
kind
video.
of connected.
Okay.
But
I'm back. I'm ready.
something that I've been thinking about a lot is sort of incentive to play, and what it is that keeps people coming back.
Free
and
DLC.
why people play games.
Okay. Okay.
And I think there's a big belief shift right now that people play games just to, like, get stuff.
Okay.
And I put forward the idea that people will often also play games just to get good at the game.
Yeah.
Like, part of why you just keep playing is just to get better at the game. Like, it's a skill you're learning.
That's what people who play fighting games would call the journey. Like,
Yeah.
The work is the reward, is the entertainment.
Yeah, like,
Yeah.
you don't play a fighting game to, I don't know,
To be lazy, you know
To,
what I mean?
like,
Like to have a chill
to get
time.
a loot box. Like, I know
To
they're
level up,
in Injustice or
whatever,
whatever,
yeah.
but, like, that's the part that I don't want. I'm like, just let me have the shit so
Yeah.
that I'm at the level that I'm at so that I can get good at using my mechanics. Because I want to get better at it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And there's all these games and there are loot boxes and, like, oh, you gotta give them incentives, so, like, you never know what's gonna be in the next one. But, like, Overwatch, if I just have the skins, I still play Overwatch because I want to get better as Genji at, like, working in a team.
The amount of times where I've gotten to Overwatch now and I'm like, I don't care about loot boxes anymore. I'm just playing the game because it's so much fun.
Yeah, exactly. Like, when you
Yeah.
stop worrying about that, it's almost more
Well,
fun.
for the summer games, personally, I didn't give a shit about any skin.
Mhm.
It's not that they were all bad. I liked them all. It's just I was like, I don't.
We're veteran players at this point, and
I'm
it's
like,
just
I can't
yeah.
keep spending my man hours grinding for that skin that I'm never gonna use.
When the experience isn't going to change very much.
Yeah,
Right?
exactly.
Yeah.
Like, you're still playing the game.
I think that has to do with the combination of how a game is presented, as well as just the type of gamer you are.
Okay.
I think that, like, games that they really, like, work that, like, look at all the shit you can get. There's so much stuff in this game. Oh my god, you got to get it all. Like, definitely influences that type of gaming where you want to go in and try and get all the things.
Like a Diablo, like a loot based.
Yeah, like
game.
RPGs for sure fall into that category, like 100%. Like the amount of games that, like, even I know that Jack plays just because you can get, like, the next set of armor or whatever because it looks cooler, does better or whatever, right? And that's just
Yeah.
all you do. Diablo is actually a good example of that. It's just like
Yeah.
constant
Yeah.
loot.
It's like a loot cycle.
Yeah, and then it's, I don't know. And then it's just the type of just type of gamer you are, like what
That's
you
fair.
look for in a game. And I find for myself
I mean-
it varies.
I still play Halo 5, and it's not because I'm interested in getting my new Spartan helmet. I play Halo 5 because I'm like, I want to play Halo 5.
Yeah. Like,
Because that's the experience I set
I
up
think
for.
sorry, I don't want to cut you off, but I was
That's
gonna say,
fine.
like, I think, like, the very good balance is having a game that has some stuff to collect and, like, is really cool, but don't make it extremely difficult, and don't make it so much that I'm still doing that like several hours into the game. Like, I want to get to a point where I'm like, cool, okay, I'm cool with the stuff I have now. Like, I'm just gonna play the game and continue doing the thing that I was enjoying doing while collecting those things, which is how I feel with Overwatch. It's like when we first play, we're like, gotta get that fucking legendary skin, but now we play it and we're like, I can pass. Like, that's cool, and I hope I get it, but let's just keep playing.
Whatever. It's
I'm
not
playing
as shiny
Phantom,
anymore.
it's fun.
Yeah, because then it's like that feeling of like the shiny thing is worn off.
Yeah.
You know, you're like, I know the skins are there, whatever. I just want to play the game. And the thing I was gonna briefly say was that like I spent so many hours playing Joker's Carnival, Batman Arkham City.
Oh my god, I've never seen you repeat play something so much.
Like so many hours.
Didn't you get like top 7 or something?
I was in the top. I think I was briefly in the top 10 as Nightwing on the Xbox, and I was in the top 50 as Batman. My highest combo as Nightwing was 665, and my highest combo as Batman was 525. And that I wasn't getting anything.
Yeah.
I just wanted to get so good at that combat system.
Because it was fun to play.
Just into the accolade of being good.
I just wanted to know that I could just like go through enemies and fucking no problem.
Yeah.
Forever.
Yeah. I think there's also, like, to add to your point that, like, because you're saying that's a transition that's happening in games. Like,
Yeah.
people are going from getting stuff
Like
to
playing to play to
experiencing
playing
it,
to.
I suppose.
Well, like the developers or the publishers are pushing the like play to get, and I think a lot of players
and players are not
tend
like
to be
that.
more play to play.
Okay, so you're
Yeah.
saying, yeah, okay.
No, I get you.
Crap, I lost my train of thought.
Got derailed.
Damn it, I got derailed. What was I gonna say?
To shift tracks.
Yeah. Fuck, I hope it comes back to me.
We hit a crossroads.
Yeah, right. What was your like? So what about Absolver made you?
Well, Absolver is all about like the play to play, because you're actually I guess it's kind of both, because you're getting things, but the things you're getting are to improve your playing.
Mm-hmm.
They're not
Well,
just
that's
like
the best
rewards,
example
right?
of it.
And like and it's also there's no way to get them externally. Like you can only get them by playing, so it doesn't feel like it's breaking its own loop or like devaluing any part of its gameplay.
Mm-hmm.
It's like the core mechanic is you fight other people, and they essentially teach you new moves, which you can then use to fight other people to survive longer, to learn new moves. And it just flows really well, and like just on like the very base level of why am I playing, how am I getting rewarded, what's the loop, it's very tight.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And like you know what the developers are trying to give across to you, and you're very receptive of that because it's so clear.
Yeah. You get what you went looking for.
Yeah.
As opposed to what you paid for.
Yeah.
I think just a quick thought I had about this. I feel like a lot of older games, especially
It's
like
so hot in here. I'm just sweating.
it is very warm.
Oh man.
It's really hot in Vancouver right now. It's it's hot, and it's gonna get hotter tomorrow.
Sorry, I just wanted to like explain why I just keep rubbing myself.
Yeah, no, it's super hot, and it's supposed to get its hottest tomorrow, and I'm not excited.
I'm not leaving the house.
I wish I could leave the
I
house.
leave tomorrow.
Work tomorrow. Anyways, I was gonna say, like, a lot of games that were new to us when we were younger, like our first generation of video games, buying stuff for the game wasn't the thing.
Yeah,
like
You couldn't go out and spend more money.
If you
on the
wanted
game.
an unlockable, you had to either find the secret or like look up a walkthrough and find that journey to whatever that item was, or spend the time doing a thing to unlock it, right? And then the era of DLC came out, and like, yeah, games still did that, but I think there was a lot of like, all you have to do is save enough money and the shop has it.
Yeah.
Or things like that like that I remember like Legend of Zelda in some degree like makes fun of, because you'd go into a shop and there'd be that item you really want, and it's so expensive that
You
like
literally
clearly
can't carry enough
you can't
like,
buy
coins
it. Yeah.
or rupees to get it. I am
Um,
ashamed. I called them coins in a Zelda game.
It's okay.
Sean, I want you to hit me.
No.
Sean, hit me.
Sean, you're gonna hit him later
In the
anyways.
face.
Just hit him.
do it
Might
now,
hit him.
so it's topical. That became a tender caress. I will accept it.
Okay, so
I just rewarded you for that. How do you feel?
You fucking hit my face. Take your hand and you hit me in the face.
It's not a
but
assault.
anyways,
It's a duel.
So like buying stuff from like an in-game shop eventually led to DLC, like, or not DLC, but just like stuff you can buy with real money to get good at a game. And
What?
Yes, Sean?
I'm not doing anything.
And so I think people got like, I don't know, people got sick of that or realized that wasn't fun, because then you're not having to work for anything and you just like get the thing you need and then play the game, which wasn't as fun because you didn't have to work for anything.
Yeah, like it's part of the game is like getting better and getting those rewards, right?
Yeah.
If there's no challenge, like why?
I don't even know.
get
I don't
it.
even know it's something that the industry is aware of yet. I think it's just something that I think we're kind of realizing now. I don't know if it's something the industry is totally aware of.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's just that it's that developer publisher thing, right?
Yeah.
We can make money. We don't care if it breaks the game. We're just like, as the publisher,
I
they're
mean,
just there
yeah.
to make money. It's the business, right?
That's how I feel about fucking
They're
pre-order
there
bonuses.
for the art form. They're there for
Oh,
the,
totally.
Well, like, have you ever started a game with like all the good shit and you're like, oh, sick,
yeah, and you're like, sure, I guess.
awesome.
I'm
All
just
right.
really strong, and I don't really need to
Well,
worry about playing the game well.
The first half of this game is going to be so easy. Like, that happened to me in Dead Space 2. Like, you get, like, a better suit and a gun right away. And you're like, oh, okay, sure. And so you're just, like, walking around in the stuff, and you, like, take way less damage, and you're just, like, dead.
Like, developers craft a very intricate difficulty curve.
Some of them,
Like,
yeah.
they give you the armor they give you, and the enemies deal the damage they deal for a very specific purpose.
Yeah.
And then the publishers are just like, yeah, well, that doesn't matter. Let's make money off better armor when you get a good gun and you're invincible for the first 5 minutes. And the monsters are all made of rainbows, so they're not scary. And the lights are on,
Don't you like rainbows?
and you can walk twice as fast, and it's
talk
not Dead
twice
Space
as
anymore.
fast. It's, well, after rainbows, it never was. Nothing could be rainbows in Dead Space. So much gore in that game. It's viscera and necromorphs. And they're like, "Brah, we've got spikes now." And you're like, where'd your jaw go, Mr. Necromorph? And he's just like, I ate it. I'm like, huh?
How?
How?
Eat your jaw.
Necromorph? Stop.
You guys ever play Prince of Persia 2?
Warrior Within?
Prince of Persia 3. Two Thrones?
Two Thrones, yeah.
And there's that big giant guy whose jaw's missing. You gotta climb up him and kill him.
Sort
His
of.
tongue is just kind of dangling.
Kind of remember that.
He's like, that thing was once a man. He was there when Kalina died. I did that section a lot.
Apparently.
It was hard, wasn't it?
Yeah. I hadn't like figured out how to do the climbing in the area yet.
Yeah. Did it once. One try, probably. I don't remember.
And then I also played the beginning. He's like right at the beginning, and I played the beginning of the game a lot. So.
I think a lot of gamers, as like obviously as the industry is getting larger and like it's encompassing more clients and more consumers,
It's a total eclipse
because
of Sean.
the type of content that video games offer has become so different, and like it's so much more than it used to be.
Yeah.
So you can get very action experiences, you get very art styled experiences, you get all this kind of stuff, right?
Yeah.
So people look for experiences just as you do
That's
when
kind of
watch a film or something, right?
That's how I've always looked at video games.
Yeah.
Ever since probably Pikmin, right? Where I played... No, this is a serious thought. And where I played Pikmin...
You do talk about Pikmin a lot.
Because Pikmin was a good fucking game, but I didn't like it very much as a kid. Because it stressed me the fuck out, because you had 30 days to do your job. You had 30 days to get 30 parts, and I couldn't fucking do it as a 10-year-old. I just didn't have the mental capacity to get 30 parts in 30 days. I wasn't that organized. I was like, okay, this day I'm getting one part, but then you fall one day behind, so you gotta get 2 parts the next day. So you gotta make sure that you know where 2 parts are, and if you don't know where 2 parts are, you're fucked. Because the next day you gotta get 3 parts, and the next day you gotta get 4, and the next day you gotta get 5, and it becomes a fucking hellstorm. And you're like, I can't do that, and then make sure I have enough Pikmin, and then go and kill all these grubs, and then what am I doing here? I can't save all my Pikmin. It became a really difficult game for me.
But a good experience.
But it can't, that what I would say is very prime to the Pikmin 1 experience. The later games made it a lot more casual because they realized stressing children out isn't a good way to play the game. So they probably made it a little bit easier, and they gave you another little buddy, so you and your little buddy can like split up. You can also play co-op, which was dope.
Giving games tie frames is like interesting, but I don't think it's always been the best option when it comes to adding stress to a video game.
Oh, it adds real life feeling of stress though. It doesn't add like a fun like, whoo, that was a tough fight. Now that my stress is done and it's depleted, needed for the next 5 minutes of tranquility. It's, oh my god, I'm behind on my taxes, and it's just awful, and you feel like the government's coming to get you. Behind on my taxes.
I actually had a buddy text me the other day who he's an old friend of mine, and I have never, I'll be honest, I love Legend of Zelda, but I just didn't grow up with Nintendo content, so I never played them fully through. I've seen a lot of them, I played a lot of them, but not as much as some people, as you, for instance. Anyways.
I don't even play them ever.
Yeah, shut up.
I'm right here.
Anyways, me and this buddy of mine, he's always preferred Ocarina of Time, and I've always preferred Majora's Mask. And
because you're wrong.
He texted. Well, no. So he texted me. The other, okay, well, fuck me, right? He texted me the other day, and he was like, he was like, I think I get why you like Majora's Mask so much. And I'm like, okay, why? And I'm gonna be completely honest. All the reasons he then listed, it's not a reason. I just liked it stylistically better. But anyways, he was like, because like the theming and stuff is like so dark, and it's like so cool Majora's Mask, and like the added like experience when you have a time limit like you do in Majora's Mask. And I was like, no, that makes sense. That's cool. It like definitely pops out as like an experience, like having to do what you need to do within that time frame. Not a lot of games do that, and that just reminded me of that.
Yeah.
But then I texted back and I was like, I just liked it because you could put on masks and change to different things, and I thought that was cool. I won't be a Zoro, why not?
Yeah, I know. Majora's Mask is freaking great.
Yeah, so it was just I just thought it was really funny. But yeah, it's about the experience.
I've always thought it's about the experience.
Absolver is all about the experience.
Oh yeah,
it's
the
about
other thing that I talk about sometimes is because Absolver has like the light MMO elements of like other players being in the world and stuff, right? The like soft multiplayer Dark Souls kind of thing.
Diet
this is
MMO.
This is what I was talking about like a few weeks ago, quite a few weeks ago now, where I was talking about like I can't wait for games to get to that level where it's like it's not an MMO, but MMO takes place within the game because just like processing power.
Well, because
and
as of right now, MMO
is
is like a whole genre like that comes along with the grinding and the combat and the whatever. But like it's just got the online elements, and you're all kind of in a world, but you're doing your own thing.
Yeah.
But one of the things that I like about the way that the combat system works, and the fact that there's no microtransactions, and you can't just like loot drop fucking moves to add to your deck or any of that shit.
You can though. You gotta train.
Is that when you see somebody else and they've got a particular piece of gear, you know that they at least got it in a certain area, or they've got the Absolver cloak, you know that they've reached a certain point, or you see that they're in the school and they're using the Drunken Master style, the Stagger style.
Yeah.
You know that you know where they've been and you know what they've done.
Yeah.
And like if it was in a bigger game in a bigger world that had more things, like it's an indie game, it's not going to be huge, but like the core seed of that's present, of like we're sharing an experience, and I know at least a part of what your experience has been just by literally looking at your character. Is so cool. It's like I know that you earned that cloak. I know that you earned learning Stagger style.
Yeah.
Right?
Or you had 3 people help you beat this one defenseless dude up.
Well, that's earning it.
Yeah, it's earning it.
That's fine.
Or you see like
exactly to get there, you still have to beat all the marked ones and stuff, and you still have to beat the final boss, which you have to do by yourself.
Yeah.
And then beat Jin Muska. So like either way.
Or like is it the Absolver or the school symbol that goes next to the name? It's the Absolver symbol.
It's the school symbol.
School symbol.
Yeah.
Like that's cool too. Like you just see that symbol and you're like, oh cool, so you joined the school.
Yeah, exactly. You've got to that like level.
Yeah.
That's friggin' sweet.
Yeah. Like it was really refreshing to go into a game and like help each other find gear. Like it was like, oh, you don't have the piece yet? Let's go. And we just like went and found them, and I thought that was great.
Like certain gear, it's like it's so nice to have that Dark Souls level of like there's just this gear will be here.
Yeah.
When you go there, it's just there.
Yeah.
Pick it up.
Just get it.
Do the raid 5 times.
And then wait for the RNG gods to bless you.
Thank you, RNG gods, for giving me the helmet I wanted.
Something else I really like about Absolver though, and I was trying to explain this to Benny the other night, but he just like didn't want to listen to me. Was that like I don't know. It's a fighting game. It is a fighting game, but it doesn't like to me. It doesn't feel like a fighting game. Like
here's why.
I feel like
no, sorry. I thought you were done.
No, well, no. I was just gonna say like. So I feel like there's definitely an opening here for people who don't play fighting games to play this game.
Yes.
One of them being because it like can be a single player experience.
Yes.
But I think just because like the way the combat
you don't have to
done,
learn a combo.
It's not the same as like it. There's not as much reaction time involved. There is, but nowhere near as much because like the biggest thing that I find with fighting games and this game is that with fighting games a lot of the time your moves consist of pressing a button and simultaneously pressing a direction.
Yeah.
When this one it's more like you set up for whatever you want to
direction.
do and then do the move.
Mhm.
And I think that makes, in my opinion, a huge difference on like the enjoyability of being able to play the fighting game and do the combat.
Well, it's actually kind of cool because I had an idea a while ago because I've been like over traditional combo systems for a long time. I think it was
they're old.
I think it was like when I went from playing Spider-Man games like Web of Shadows and I switched over and I was playing like the Arkham games which have that free flow combat. And I was like, this is just, why didn't somebody make this a bigger deal sooner? This is just so much better. Because you don't have to like set up for the thing you want to do. In terms of like, oh, I know I want to trip them. I have to like initiate the 7-button combo that ends with a trip, right?
Yeah.
Like you can just fucking do it.
I think for casual players, it's too much like to fucking like process at one time. It's like, okay, I gotta press this direction, but also gotta make sure that I'm doing it at the right time. And especially in a system like Batman, like if you have like multiple enemies, like, yeah, I gotta make sure I gotta dodge him at the same. Like it'd just be a lot.
Yeah, but anyway, I played it and I was like, this is amazing and would work. Oh, I'm so happy the new Spider-Man game has it because like it's more Spider-Man than Batman. Like when I'm playing those games and you're just flipping around, you're jumping over people, I'm like, this is a Spider-Man game with a Batman cape on. But what I was gonna say,
I was gonna say that.
he's also got a cape. This is a cowl. This is a cape. Cowl, cape, cowl.
Yeah, but I feel like Batman cowl is a little more.
It's the Batman. It's called the cowl.
People call it the cape. You talk to the developers, Rocksteady, they refer to it as a cape.
Wow.
And you can use the cape stun. It's a move in the game, and you can cape glide.
I don't know.
Rocksteady said so.
Awesome. You say mention cowl in universe a lot.
Rocksteady is love. Rocksteady is life. But what I was gonna say is I had, and I like the kernel of an idea years ago for what I then called a soft combo system, which would basically be where you have one attack button that's basically just like your regular attack button as you go through, but at any time you have another button that sort of initiates a combo midway through. So you have like short strings that you insert into things. So you'll always start with just like attacks. Say we're using a PlayStation controller, square and triangle. You just be like, you can go forever with square, and if you press triangle once, it does like maybe like a heavier hit or something, and press it like twice and it ends with a trip. So like your combos are always a lot smaller and you can insert them wherever you want. And obviously like I'm not a developer and I never like went anywhere with it or built a prototype to test it. But that was just like an idea I had where you can kind of get the best of both worlds, where you have a little bit more versatility, like a combo system, and like the range of things you can do, but more freedom in terms of when you do it and how you engage the enemy, like you do with the free flow system. And so when I played Absolver, I was like, this is the thing that I wanted.
They thought about it fucking a lot.
This is the thing I wanted. And the thing that makes it different that you were talking about, Brandon, that's so cool, is it doesn't just come down to who memorized the frame data better. Because you're never going to come up against an opponent and just know what they're capable of.
Yeah.
No, exactly.
Right? There's no way to know what this person can do when you face them.
Because the game is totally made up of customizable move decks.
And it also
Comic
means
decks.
that all of the NPCs in the world can engage with you just like a player can, but they're just like, generally speaking, weaker, and you generally speaking have more health, like on average. You're going to come across the random one who's just built like a fucking
Usually
brick
the one that
shithouse.
has a cult style because
But
they're fucking
they're
dumb.
fucking brutal. But the flip side of that is that you'll generally know they have some of these moves, so you can go train against them, get your ass kicked, but learn the moves you're trying to learn, and then you get better. It's fucking great. But yeah, you never just go like, oh, like you play Injustice, for example. You're like, I know everything Superman can do.
Yeah.
And so it's my job as a player essentially to memorize everybody else's combo strings and know what their most viable route is, and then figure out how to get away from that, disengage from it.
Yeah.
Those games have always reminded me of fencing, and it's because of the line that they do. And Absolver reminds me not of fencing at all.
Of like actual martial arts.
Of like
and,
martial arts, yeah. Of like, what can I do? What can he do? It's a complicated thing, and we're not gonna figure it out.
Well, yeah, it becomes more about like reading them moment to moment,
Yeah. Oh yeah.
right?
Oh yeah.
And it's not just like, oh, I know that I'm safe because I've got them in this combo and they can't get out of
Or
it.
like most people play Batman, do like a slide kick, and then like you can try to assume
you just
some
like
stuff.
learn that stuff.
But there's a way better sense of like patience and focus.
Yeah.
With Absolver. Like, oh, it's so cool.
It's
Which then
so
puts
neat.
you into the shoes of like a monk or somebody training. Like,
like
it's so
very
genius.
focused and centered and like trying to learn these martial skills.
Now, when you stagger style, you just hit square a bunch.
And but that also is immersive.
Yeah.
because you're stagger style.
You're drunk.
Yeah.
And like even the description is like, yeah, they just kind of wander around, but out of this weird random whateverness comes combat, and you're like, yeah, it's basically how you do it.
Yeah. No, I'm very excited to get more of this game.
Yeah.
but it's
I'm
just such a
excited
good
for more of this game to come, and I'm excited for the potential of what people can do now that we've seen this. And it's always really
Devolver
exciting to
2.
me. It's always really exciting to me when just a new combat system comes out. Like, it's exciting to me when like new mechanics come out.
Yeah.
But I really love combat mechanics. It's really exciting to me when new combat mechanics come out, because I'm like, after Batman came out, obviously Absolver isn't gonna have the reach Batman had, but like after Batman came out, free flow combat's everywhere.
Yeah.
Like, it's
totally,
in every game ever. Now that Absolver came out, I'm really curious to see what other games we see in like 5 years' time.
Steel.
That like how they steal it, how they adapt it, and how they use a similar kind of system.
Again, I'm excited to see more like open world third person style games with like really cool combat fighting systems in them.
Also, it's interesting that this came out like within a year of For Honor.
Yeah.
Because like on a surface watching it, it's got a similar look. They don't play at all similarly. Like For Honor is actually a more traditional fighting game.
Yeah.
In the
In a lot
sense
of
of like
senses,
memorizing the
Yeah.
mechanics of how certain characters
Because it works
work.
with characters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But this idea of engaging your enemy one-on-one, it's a fighting game of like an over-the-shoulder perspective and still trying to read your opponent more.
Of like pacing and
like
facing.
and generally speaking, combos and combo strings are like shorter, like for the most part, than they are in a traditional fighting game. And reading, like, it plays out differently, but like the direction of your opponent is important.
yeah.
There's more to
Right.
the game than just that arena fighter style.
Yeah, you
Like
have to take other things.
watch
into
each other
account.
and that's it, right? There's environments to deal with and like lots of other stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
And I just think it's interesting
very
that
cool.
like they're both fairly innovative,
Yeah.
and they both came out within a year of each other. So
Yeah.
I can't remember whose review it was, but there was for Absolver, but they were saying like if For Honor is as a example of how like brutal combat can be, Absolver is a great example of how like the finesse of combat. And it's like
give me that Dex build.
so good. It's just there's so many things they thought of, and like I mean I don't want to get too far deep into it, but like even the fact that there is gear in that game, but the gear doesn't make you like too good for a certain part of the game or anything like that, like we were discussing earlier. Like the gear just affects how your character plays in a
Well,
in a
the gear
style
has
way.
like a very it's got like a very specific drawback as much as it has a benefit, which is really freaking cool.
Well, it was really funny because like when I first started playing, I was looking at the gear, and I was really confused because I was putting on every piece of gear, and every piece of gear drops your mobility and your damage, and I was like waiting for that piece of gear to show up that I wasn't getting a negative in anything, just because like that's how most gear system works.
yeah.
You find the piece of gear that has a buff.
That's just
and
better.
everything. Like it's the same as this thing, but everything else is increased or something like that. And I kept going through and being like, "Where is it?" And then like an hour or two into the game, I was like, "I get it."
Yeah, because your
There's a
mobility is
thing,
important, like-
and like, but you also want like blunt cut resistance, and like, it's good. It's so good. I loved it.
It's fun.
I'm really excited.
Gonna add bow staff, Sean.
I know. I'm so excited for that. You know what else you're gonna add soon to a completely different game? Hellboy 2.
Speaking of fighting games, yeah, they're adding Hellboy to Injustice 2. I like how you said Hellboy 2.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because it's a good movie. Look it up. Learn it.
I've never seen this
Fuck
other
us.
one.
The Golden Army? Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
I was gonna say the Golden Compass, but I'm like, that's a different movie.
That's wrong. That's not correct.
Hey,
They're making a new Hellboy movie.
and
And
without Del Montoro and Ron Perlman.
yeah, but they announced who's playing him, didn't they?
He backed out.
No.
Yeah, there was a guy who was casted for Hellboy, and there was
that was
someone
for the
who was,
villain.
No, yeah, there was
casted
someone
for the
casted
villain.
for the movie, and he backed out because of
Because
some,
of whitewashing,
whitewash,
which was dope. It was the guy Ed Skrein, I think his name is. Ed
Yeah.
Skrein. He was the villain in Deadpool.
We all know who the fucking Hellboy guy is. The moment I say his name, you're gonna be like, "Oh, that dude."
Yeah, no,
Ron Perlman was great though.
Ron Perlman was great, but to be fair, I've never read the books, so I don't know if he, I don't know if he was a good Hellboy. Like,
I guess like
he was a good
objectively-
Hellboy in the movie.
Yeah, I was gonna say objectively, I've never read the comics either, but like I enjoyed the first one and much of the second one as I saw.
Yeah.
One of my profs did the sound stuff for
That's cool.
all the audio editing for the Hellboy 2.
Oh, it's David Harbour.
Right, from Stranger Things. That's
Yes.
Oh,
The sheriff.
okay, yeah. I see. I can see it.
yeah.
I don't know, like,
Ron Perlman's just got that growth.
it's not even about the casting. Like, I'm fine with them recasting. Like, I really liked Ron Perlman. Like, he's great. The thing I love the most about those
Guillermo del
movies
Toro's directing?
is his direction. It's like the use of practical effects, like the
Oh,
thought
totally.
and care of lore and of monsters and of like creatures and making them look and feel real. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. I want to watch the first movie again.
And we'll see. how
Actually,
the new
I
movie
like the
goes.
second one almost better than the first one.
Really?
Yeah. First one's good. The second one's just like...
I have seen them both, but I don't remember them well enough to have an opinion at this point.
Yeah.
I remember enjoying them both,
I
but
love the first one.
I love them both, but I like the second one, I think, a little bit more. Anyway, completely off topic. Thank you.
that's us.
Good shit.
I think.
I was gonna say go buy Absolver. It's not super expensive.
It's
and
not
a
super
fucking
expensive,
great
and it
game.
lets you support an indie developer,
Yeah.
and try something new. And
Do the line of Coke.
that's
What?
no. I'm saying that
Try something
they
new.
tried to get to try a new game, like a new experience in a game. Not,
Sean,
Oh.
we don't.
I'm not just saying
don't
try
support
something
that.
new, like that
We
was
don't-
connected to the other
Yeah,
thought,
yeah.
Sean.
Don't do that. Snort coffee beans instead. Same thing.
Man,
If you're also in the mood of spending money, you should donate to our Patreon.
we have a Patreon.
We have a Patreon.
So
Mm.
Patreon.
And if
yeah.
we want
Thanks
to
for
do, don't
Sean.
show my tummy to the public.
It's gotta
We want to do some more stuff, and as you can tell, we were on a hiatus, and for reasons that we were all busy,
Because we have to do
and we have to do
jobs.
We have to do
we
stupid
work
jobs.
things in order to do
Like,
this.
I just like put my hand.
I know
in
you're
my
just
face.
blocking me. I'm like, give us money. And you're like, "Oh, Brandon."
Yeah, so anyway, we really appreciate the support you've given us. Always remember, like, subscribe, check us out on Facebook, on Twitter.
That's how the YouTube works. Comment and subscribe and like it and share it with people.
Thank you.
Thanks, Green Thumbs. Oh, Sean's leaving.
That's like your thing. You didn't do.
You didn't even say it or do it.
Shit.
Thank you, Green Thumbs.
I actually did
It's a
it.
good thumb right there. It's a good thumb. Hey, it's a green thumb.
Oh, I'm glad you said it.
We're gonna cut this.
Yeah, well, you're gonna cut a lot of it,
I'm gonna cut a bunch of that booty.
guys.
That's what we